With volleyball coach Mike Lester. Coach, coming off of another solid weekend, a 3-1 performance down at Loris. Head into the conference opener now, 7-2. You got to be feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah. This weekend was a good weekend. It kind of lived up to expectations, I think, for all of the teams there. I think there were a bunch of teams there that are right on the cusp of being really, really good teams, and everybody's trying to get that upper hand over everybody else. So really competitive matches all weekend long, not just the matches we played, but all the matches that were played were really good matches and really good for all the teams to help everybody get ready for the conference schedule.
You know, and it seems like every time we talk about a tournament and you know, individually what happened, there's somebody else that's stepping to the forefront. Mackie Fadness has had 2 great tournaments in a row, but Jenna Sullivan had a solid performance, was all tournament, and just those 2 alone aren't the only ones that really kind of excelled last weekend at Loris.
Yeah, well, I tell you, you know, one of the biggest things that came out of the tournament this weekend was that we started getting our middle attack going a little bit. And I know you and I talked early, you know, after the last tournament that we were a little unbalanced offensively. And so it was good to see that happen, our outsides get involved, and then obviously, you know, Mackie and Cassidy have good tournaments on the right side as well. So it's good to see some balance start coming around.
You know, the last couple of years you've had the, I'm going to assume it's the luxury of 2 setters with Taylor McVeigh and Brittany Hansen, and does that make you guys look a little different to other teams? Because most teams nowadays still do a 1-setter rotation. Yeah. You guys are able to do it with 2.
Yeah, you know, and it's really interesting. A lot of times your setting decisions, whether you're going to run a 5-1 or a 6-2, you know, are far less. That decision is far less dependent on what your setters are doing as opposed to what the rest of your offense is doing. And so for us, having, you know, Taylor and Brittany be able to come in and both do a really good job is important. But more importantly, the reason we're doing that is because we do have Mackie and Cassidy out there on the right side, and we need to find a way to get them both on the court. And if we ran that 1-setter system, it would limit us a little bit.
And now that the experience, the preseason, if you want to call it, that's out of the way, you kick off conference play on Wednesday against St. Catherine. They're coming in very similar to you at 5-2. You know them, they know you. Sure. Talk a little bit about Wednesday and what we can expect.
Well, you know, it's going to be a typical MIAC match. You know, both teams, I think, are going to be prepared and ready to play. So I expect St. Catherine's to come in and play their best match of the season, and I hope our players do that as well. And anytime you get 2 MIAC schools doing that, you know it's going to be a really tough, competitive, I would anticipate, long match, so it should be pretty exciting. You know,
I know technically, according to the records, you've played 4 home matches, but this really is the first match in the St. Mary's gym. How important is that that home opener to really be playing in front of a home crowd?
Well, it is, and even more so, it's so tough to win on the road in the conference that you really have to be able to take care of your home matches and play well here. You know, on top of that, we want to continue to generate some excitement about what our program is doing, what our team is doing, and to keep the crowd involved and try to get more and more people to come to our matches. And the way you do that is by being successful and playing well, especially early in the season at home.
You know, we talk about how only a third of your schedule is conference matches. This is a perfect example this weekend. Last weekend you played at Loris. You've got a match on Wednesday against St. Kate's, and then you head to Ripon for 4 more matches on the weekend. Does it get to be draining a portion of the schedule like you've got right now?
Yeah, you know, it is, but it's important for us to play as many matches, I think, non-conference specifically, early in the season before we get into that real conference grind where we know that every single match is going to be important. Every single match is critical. When you only play 11 conference matches, you can't afford to have a hiccup or 2. And the way you kind of get around that is by getting some experience early in the season with some of these early season tournaments. You know, by the end of this weekend, we will have already played 14 matches. And we're not playing many more than 28 or 29 on the season. So our season, in terms of matches, is almost half over by the end of this weekend.
And interesting, this week you've got St. Kate's on Wednesday, and then you do see them again at Ripon. So you start out Ripon, where you've got St. Norbert, River Falls. Then Saturday you play St. Kate's again and Ripon. So in a span of just a few amount of days, you're going to be playing them twice.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And we did that once earlier a few years ago, and Coach Phelps from St. Kate's and I, you know, talked about trying to get some different players in and get some opportunities. I'm not sure what we'll do this weekend, but you know, it's always tough to play the same team a couple of times, especially in such close proximity. But you know, we're going into this tournament this weekend with the goal of winning a lot of matches and playing well and continuing to get better.
Conference opener on Wednesday against St. Kate's here at the St. Mary's Gym, and then on the road this weekend at Ripon for 4 more matches. Good luck.
Thanks.